Hey,
What's up?
did you get a chance to read those books yet?
No, not yet. I'm washing dishes right now. Hey, what's up?
Hey, have you read those books yet?
I haven't had a chance to yet. I'm still doing chores.
Oh, come on.
I got a lot to do.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
I really need you to read these books. I gotta do this review.
I know, but I really need to get dinner going, so you're gonna have to read them yourself.
Ah, fine. I guess I'll read them myself. What's going on, GemMintites? GemMint here with today's new comic book day reviews. It's Wednesday, January 27th, and we're going to go through this big stack of today's comics as spoiler-free as possible. But I got a lot going on today, guys. You got to check me out on Sideshow Collectibles YouTube channel tonight at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be on the Comics Hall with Amy and Paul talking about these books on their channel. So make sure to come through, show some love, and we're doing a giveaway starting right now. You could enter this giveaway now for this Iron Studios 1/10 scale Wolverine statue. All you got to do is go to side.show/comicshaulgemmint, and this is going to be a contest running from today until next Wednesday, February 3rd. So make sure to jump into that giveaway and come check us out on Sideshow Collectibles later today. Also, if you're enjoying this content, do me a favor and hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're made aware when the new videos drop. You know, over 50% of you guys are not subscribed. Just saying. Before we get into the physical copies, you know I read some digital, and we got to start off with Berserk Chapter 363. It's not very often we get a new chapter of Berserk, and one finally landed. So this one is mostly about Skull Knight, and we're learning more about the Skull Knight's past and how similar he may be to Guts. I felt like this chapter wasted a lot of time with the little Isidro fighting with the witches story, but otherwise, you know, always happy to read a new chapter of Berserk, and Volume 41 is going to be dropping soon. Let's start off with Image Comics. We've got Department of Truth, Issue 5. This is by James Tynion IV. You have Simmons and Bidikar. I really dig this series. You know, it deals with conspiracy theories and the fact that all conspiracy theories are technically true, and the reality that we live in is built upon what the masses think. So this one, we're taking our main character. His name slips my mind right now, but he's kind of got his own ulterior motive to want to find the truth. It's not so much about finding the truth, it's about finding this star-faced monster that haunted him as a child. We're also learning that the Department of Truth may not be the good guys. You got the Black Hat, and you got the Department of Truth. Who's good, who's evil? It's kind of unveiling in these issues. Then we got Spawn 314. A lot of exciting things happening in Spawn. We got the reveal of a brand new character in the last issue. I think his name is Monolith. And we got the reveal of his boss, this big boss. This features writing by Todd McFarlane and art by Carlo Barberi. Loving the artwork here. The story's kind of whatever, but I definitely dig these new characters that Todd's introducing. All right, continuing with the indies, over at Boom Studios, we have James Tynion IV on Something is Killing the Children. He's joined by Werther Deledra and Miguel Muerto. So I feel like the story's really moving along here in Something is Killing the Children. Everybody loves this story, Erica Slaughter, the slaughterhouse, and all these things. But we're kind of learning how these monsters come to be in the first place and what her little sock puppet thing that was talking to her is all about. Like, apparently, I don't want to spoil it, but apparently she uses that to help combat these monsters. And I like this. This one really moved the plot forward a lot. Last one from Boom, Al Ewing's We Only Find Them When They're Dead, Issue 5. He's joined by Simone de Mio. So here's my thing on this book. Like, I really dig the artwork, and I really like how each panel is like a whole different color. It gives you just like a nice palette to look at while you're looking at this, and everything is kind of like warp speed looking. The problem is I'm having a really hard time following the cast of human characters. Like, I don't know, we're jumping a lot of dates, 60 years, 30 years, 40 years, and it's like, who's who? Who's related to what? What's really going on here? I don't know. But when we see the space gods, it's pretty dope. So we're getting a little bit more of that here. And We Only Find Them When They're Dead was only the beginning. So we'll keep it at that. Last one from the Independents, we have Exo Manowar Issue 4. Over at Valiant, we have Dennis Hopeless, Emilio Leaizo, Ruth Redmond, Hassan Oatsmain, Elhue. Sorry, I know I didn't pronounce that right. Dope cover here, man. Check this out. So I really do like this issue of Exo Manowar. So the enemy, this kind of terrorist guy, has taken over where he lives. I believe it's Harlem, and set this trap for Exo. Exo doesn't get caught up in the trap. I really like the banter from the hostages. It's like this punk kid, like, kind of bigging up Exo. And Exo's got the new armor. Overall, good story. And we have this kind of underlying threat of this big nanite monster, kind of like this green gooey wave of a beast, which kind of gives Exo a run for his money. So digging Exo, man. Let's jump into DC Comics, but we'll start with the non-future state stuff. This is Joker Harley Criminal Sanity issue 7. Kami Garcia, Miko Suyan, Jason Baudower, Annette Kwok. Hopefully pronounced those all right. I like this series. You know, I always say it's very much like watching like a Law and Order type of serial killer documentary or whatever. Where we left off, Harley is interrogating the Joker in this interrogation room, and we get some glimpses into Joker's past, how he kind of evolved from like this petty killer to this like work of art serial killer. Harley's got a plot to stop him. I like the artwork. You know, it always plays with this black and white during modern time, then it switches artists and goes into color for the past. I'm digging it. I really like these oversized magazine format, trade paperback full of content books. All right, then on to Batman The Adventures Continue, issue 8. Burnett, Dini, Templeton, and Kubina. I really like this issue. It kind of has this Christmas theme story that they're kind of playing with, but what I really liked was the whole Scarface, the ventriloquist storyline. So you guys remember that from the cartoon. I really liked what they did with that here, and they kind of modernized it and played with it a little bit. Like even the guy, I forget his name, but he even refers to his relationship with Scarface as being a toxic relationship. So anyway, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy want to throw a little Christmas party. Well, I guess I should say Harley wants to. Poison Ivy's not really with it. But they throw a Christmas party. Joker gets involved. The Scarface story. It's fun, man. Just like the show. All right. So, Strange Adventures, issue 8. Tom King, Mitch Gerards, and Evan Shaner. So, I think this was my favorite issue of Strange Adventures so far. And I guess because we're nearing the end, things are starting to unravel and fall into place here. We kind of find out what Adam Strange is accused of, what were his war crimes on Ron, or the War of Ron, and with the Picts, and Mr. Terrific, you know, we kind of saw him investigating everything in the beginning of the series. Well, now he's in the mix here, and working with Adam Strange, they capture one of the Picts, and we kind of hear his side of the story, the alien side of the story, and it's not really making Adam Strange look too good. So I'm digging this, man. Excited to see how it ends. Moving over to DC Future State stuff. So Dark Detective issue 2 has a backup Red Hood story. So this is by Tamaki, Williamson, Mora, Malono Guinness, and Belair. Sorry. Love this book. Loved the Dark Detective stuff. We find out why everyone thinks Bruce Wayne is dead. How is he not dead? I guess it's a minor spoiler, but not really if you've been reading all the other titles. How did he not die? I love the Magistrate stuff. I love the Peacemaker stuff. I love Bruce having to operate out of renting a room, paying cash for rent. Like, he's not in Wayne Manor anymore. So I really dig it, man. I think this book was great. The Red Hood backup story was really good too. The art style was a little bit different, and it was almost like a silent issue. Like, there was very little dialogue in the Red Hood story, but Red Hood is basically a mask that works for the Magistrate hunting down masks. So vigilantes hate him, everybody hates him, but it was a really good story, and I like the Red Hood Jason Todd stuff here. So this one was a win for me. Then we got Batman Superman issue 1. This one's by Yang, Oliver, and Prianto. So I really did like the artwork on here. It almost had like a painted vibe to it. The storyline, I don't know which Clark and which Bruce we're dealing with here. It doesn't feel like it's the Magistrate world, but I think they did reference that here. And basically, you know, finally after talking with other people like Robbie and these guys, like, I figured out, so Future State is an alternate reality, or one reality that's spread out of Dark Knight's Death Metal. But all these books take place in like different eras. Like, all the bad stuff is in this Magistrate era, then you have Wonder Woman in the future. So anyway, not really sure what part of the timeline this is. And you're dealing with these kids who buy off of the black market these face changers. You put it on your neck and you can become like some type of animal face. Anyway, it has bad side effects. We kind of figure out who's behind all of it. That's kind of where the story is going. dope last panel here with Superman. So I kind of did like this issue now that I think about it. All right, then we have Superman vs. the Imperius Lex, issue 1. This is by Russell Pugh Ferraro Jr. Did not like this issue. I didn't like this issue at all. I felt like it was very political, and not political like Democrats and Republicans, but political like Star Wars, the Attack of the Clones political, like council meetings of the UP, the United Planets, and Lex Luthor has his own planet called Lexor, and I guess he became wealthy and the planet became wealthy by stealing from surrounding planets, and the UP's not having it. I didn't like the United Planets. They kind of came off as, I don't know. I didn't like how they came off. Righteous. I hated how Lois Lane was written here. The artwork was okay though, but man, this was whack for me. But it didn't get the pick of the week, and I'm talking about the weakest book of the week, because that one's got to go to this Legion of Superheroes by Bendis, Rossmo, and Plasencia. Yo, what is Bendis doing? This book was terrible. I'm sorry, man. So much dialogue. Like, the whole page is cluttered with dialogue everywhere, and it was just boring, uninteresting. I don't know who any of these characters are. I don't care about any of these characters. It was just the worst book that I read out of this pull, in my opinion. Moving on over to Suicide Squad issue number 1. This is by, oh, there's a backup story here too with the Black Adam. Thompson, Adams, Fernandez, Passar, and Albert, Sinclair, and Cox. So I really did like both of these stories in here. The Suicide Squad story is kind of like a futuristic version of Suicide Squad. Amanda Waller is even more powerful than she is, you know, than we knew her in the current time. So you have this kind of like dark Justice League that's a Suicide Squad with like a fake Batman and a fake Superman, literally the clone Connor Kent Superman, a fake version of the Flash, which was Bolt from Teen Titans. It's the Flash that we saw in the promo where she has the amputated legs. Then you have this fake Aquaman, a fake Wonder Woman. But what was funny is like you have this bad Justice League as Suicide Squad in an attempt to help the heroes of this world, but then the real heroes are the real Suicide Squad, which you got to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's like the original Suicide Squad. It's not like the Harley Quinn squad. So that was pretty fun. The Black Adam stuff was pretty fun as well. You have basically the 7 deadly sins manifested as monsters attack the world. They destroy Superman Prime, which is a version of Superman that lives in the sun, and the only person that could help is Black Adam. This is a future where magic is no longer a thing. People have stopped using magic long ago. Black Adam is a peaceful man, but they bring the fight to him. So I don't know, I kind of like the Black Adam backup story. He wasn't really himself, but I still liked it. And guys, before we move on to Marvel and my pick of the week, I gotta give a shout out to Street Level Hero. They have exclusive variant covers, and they have new drops every Tuesday and Thursday. They just dropped a Gabriel Del Otto Miles Morales for Marvel's Voices Legacy #1, and tomorrow they're dropping a Daredevil 25 by Gabriel Del Otto, which looks awesome. If you guys are into these variants and you want to help out the channel, go ahead and pick them up and use the code GemMint to save 10% on these and any other item that they have on the store. That's Street Level Hero, SLHLA.com. Moving over to Marvel, we have X-Men issue 17 by Jonathan Hickman, Brett Booth, Corona, and Go. So Brett Booth, you know, he used to work with Jim Lee back in the day in the Wildstorm era, and this book feels like a 90s X book. It feels like very similar to Jim Lee's style. You have Cyclops and Jean Grey in their X-Factor gear, and it just felt like the 90s, and I was digging it. I really like the art style on here. Now we're in a whole new storyline. The Shi'ar called out to Krakoa to help, and it's basically them in outer space. You got the Super Guardians are involved, so it's like reminiscent to Hickman's Avengers run. I didn't really like the story that much, but I thought the artwork was great. Moving over to Amazing Spider-Man 58. Yes, I'm still reading it. Nick Spencer, Ferreira, Foucher, and Hallowell. So kind of feels like everything that happened is not even mentioned in this issue, and it's just kind of like a Mr. Negative story, a Mr. Lee story, and involving Aunt May, and Spider-Man's fighting all of his negative goons. I mean, it ties into the Sin Eater storyline, and Mr. Lee is, you know, he's good. He was clean. He was cleansed. He was saved by the Sin Eater, and he wasn't Mr. Negative anymore. But as we found out, when the Sin Eater was beaten or whatever happened to him, I don't even remember. Everyone's powers and sins came back to them, but a little bit worse. So that seems to be what's going on here with Mr. Negative. What's this have to do with anything? I don't know. All right, Wolverine number 9, you got Percy, Kubert, and Martin. So this was a fun issue. You know, they're doing the Team X stuff with Maverick and Sabretooth and Wolverine and doing flashbacks to that era when they were those mind-wiped weapons. And this issue flashes forward to the present, and there's this auction where they're selling off all these superhero memorabilia and items like the cowl that Captain America was wearing when he was dug out of the ice, a goblin glider, and Maverick himself. Maverick, basically a weapon, mind wiped, ready to go, and Wolverine's here to bust him loose. They talk about how they'll never be like Sabretooth. Sabretooth committed all these atrocities, killing just for the hell of killing back during that Team X days. And Wolverine and Maverick did some bad things as well. I like what Wolverine says about Maverick. He's like, he really vouches for him, but he's like, he's the type that you wouldn't trust with your wife, but you would trust with your life. I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. And lastly, if you haven't figured it out yet, my pick of the week, Daredevil 26, Chip Zdarsky, Chichetto, Hawthorne, Di Benedetto, and Menez. So this is by far the best King in Black tie-in outside of Venom. Love this issue, man. Matt Murdock, or should I say Daredevil, in jail. People not really wanting to mess with him. He's not really acting like your typical prisoner. He's just there kind of like scoping, peeping the whole scene and everything going on around him. Points if you know where those lyrics are from. You got Elektra. She's the new Daredevil. She's running around the streets being Daredevil, and she's kind of thinking like Daredevil. She's adhering to Daredevil's morals while she's wearing his costume, which is dope. And then boom, Null happens. King in Black happens. The planet gets overrun by symbiotes, and so do some of our characters here. And I think that was what was the most awesome about this here. Love what Chip Zdarsky's doing with Daredevil. He's working with Donny Cates. I guess they got Spider-Man plans in the future. Donny Cates leaving Venom after issue 200 or Legacy 200. A lot of stuff going on here. But I want to know what you thought about this week's comics in the comments down below. Make sure you guys come check me out this evening on Sideshow's site. You can go there and hit the notification bell now so that you are reminded when we go live. And I appreciate you guys watching. Check out my other comic book day reviews in the playlist to the right and stay minty fresh. Peace.